Cheap Drums Guy. Coming to you bright and early on this Saturday morning, thanks to my little canine friends. Strangled the little bastards. Oh, man, weather-wise. So we went from like freezing cold to Florida heat overnight, essentially. It's just been crazy. It's been beautiful though all week. Holy crap. I mean, it's nice to get rid of the boots and the jackets and all the heavy gloves and stuff like that, and then dealing with the slush, and then strip right down to just plain t-shirts and shorts for the week. I mean, yesterday it was 80 degrees. I'll never understand this day. I never will. But you know, spring is here. Winter is hopefully gone. Well, this Monday, it's supposed to drop down to 39 with the chance of snow. Well, which is rain actually. But, you know, old man winter at this time of the year, he's pulling every little trick he knows out of his bag to try to get back at us for something. Just for being alive, maybe, who knows. Man, I'm just beat today. It feels like it's gonna rain. I took the dogs out this morning about 5:30, and the weatherman probably says it's gonna be bright and sunny all day, but when you go outside and you smell the water in the air and the skies are ominous, it's like, yeah, it's gonna rain. These meteorologists are paid way too much money because they're never right. But anyways, some things have happened this week, some things for the positive. Things we've been dealing with for the past year. Well, it's finally come to a conclusion and things are going pretty good. And my wife is going to take a little vacay out to Santa Barbara or somewhere, California or something like that, with a friend of hers, Tori. Wonderful woman. And so she gets a nice little vacay. Yeah, I guess I'll just sit here and take care of the dogs then. That'll be okay by you. So she feels bad about that. And with my birthday coming up, she goes, well, let's bump up your birthday a little bit. And as soon as she said that, I'm on the internet looking at stuff. Now, she gave me a price range, and after about 10 minutes, I got up off the floor after passing out. I had to think it through a little bit. Now, in all actuality, her trip's going to cost a little bit, and she boosted up or the point where I could have got a complete new cymbal pack. And oh, the options are out there. I mean, up and not we're not talking Meinl Byzance or Sabian H8X or nothing like that, or Peisty 2002s, but I started going through them on Sweetwater, and I'm like, oh, look, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get this, or get it this, and and then reality sets in. Do I really need a brand new full cymbal set? It would be nice. I like my Peisties, and that little Sabian AA, holy crap, that is a wonderful cymbal. Well, probably my favorite cymbal right now. And I'm like, I really don't need another complete set. All actuality, all I maybe want is another ride and a couple of crashes. A different brand though, I think I'm going to stick with Sabian, which is kind of funny because Sabian was always my least favorite brand. But no, I'm really stoked with the AA series, that is. I could get, if I chose, I could get a complete set. I mean, the complete set of Sabian B8X. Now, I know the B8 series cymbal, aren't highly regarded, but they revamped it into the B8X series, and those are supposed to be all right. I don't need recording quality cymbals. I don't need Meinl Byzance, but in all actuality, I'm not really a fan of the sound of them because they sound really tinny. I mean, they look super light, the cymbals, or the majority of them, and they just got that kind of, I don't know, the sound really, I was more hyped up on just the name and the look of them, and I thought, well, that'd be cool, but like all these, famous YouTube drummers have those, the Meinl Byzance, and I'm like, well, I'm not a famous YouTube drummer, I'm not famous anything, and I never will be. So do I really need that? And you know, even though I don't like the sound, and I'm like, no, I don't. So through the selection process, I even put a poll out there on my community page, and it's funny. I got a lot of comments on the poll, but only one person actually chose a set of cymbals on there, which were the Minol Darks, uh, which are one of the contenders, the Minol Dark set with the 15-inch hats, the 17, 19-inch crash, and the 21-inch ride, a little bigger set. 16 and 18s, I don't like 18-inch cymbals for some reason, but I like the offset, the odd number cymbals like the 17s and the 19s for some reason. I don't know, call me crazy. But that was a strong contender, even though they're supposed to sound a little tinny. But and then the Minol Classic, Custom Classic, brilliant. They're just beautiful cymbals. They're like gold mirrors. But I like the sound of those. And then there was the Sabian's XSR series, and a few more. But you're looking at $600-700, which is no problem. I'm authorized to spend that much. But you know, this is summer's coming up. We got guests coming in end of May for a while. We got other things that contend with at the house. And I'm like, do I really need all that stuff? No. So I think I'm just going to settle for a couple of used crashes and a ride. And I did locate those. And again, they're Sabians. I believe the one of the crashes is a AA, the other one is a XSR, and I think the ride is an XSR too. But the price is something else. And I think I'll have, well, of course I'll have extra left over. But I think with that extra, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some Pure Sound snare wires and outfit the remaining snares that I don't have Pure Sounds on, or that came with the original snare wires. So I'll swap those out, and I think I'll probably call it good. Maybe get a jam block. I kind of like those. I hate cowbells, but I like the jam blocks. And our local music store here, they have them there. But anyways, today, now I think it was about a month ago. I'm not sure, 4 weeks ago. I got the Pearl M80 snare drum, and I've been using it quite regularly. A little side snare. I haven't tried it out as an actual snare. I mean, it's kind of, it's diminutive. It's small. It doesn't really project as much as like a heavier snare does. It's only a 10 by 4. And it likes its mount. Sorry. It's in a brushed pewter finish. Now, I was taken aback when I opened it out of the box. I'm like, man, it's just a beautiful little snare drum. And it's actually very, very well built. I mean, it's the like I said in the opening video, the worst part about it is probably the throw off, just because it's stamped sheet metal, and it's not very robust. However, am I constantly turning it on and off? No. I mean, is it going to get a lot of wear and tear from me? No. You know, when I come down here to play, I turn the snares on, and when I go back upstairs, after wiping everything down, I turn the snares off. In all actuality, it's probably going to last me 100 years. But again, it's a 10 by 4, and it came with the original Pearl batter head and non-marked resonant head, very cheap one. And now the neat little thing about these snares, other than the fact you get that little side snare sound, of course, but if you have it tuned up, cranked up quite a bit, you can also, when you turn the snare off, you can get a timbale sound out of it. Due to the fact that it's got a very thin resonant head, I haven't cranked it that hard and able to achieve a timbale-like sound. But as far as the little side snare goes, this thing is absolutely lovely. It really is, and I am really happy I picked it up. Although, since habit, I did notice a little thing right next to throw off where the wrap comes together. Can you hear that? No. The The wrap seems to be letting go in a little spot right there. However, I can fix that with a little Gorilla Glue. But I have not had a problem with this thing. It is just absolutely fun to use. And I'm thinking about, since I did buy the mount to go with, or a mount for it to fit on an L-rod mount, which is kind of neat because it really gives you a lot of options of moving it around and stuff. Now, supposedly, this mount was supposed to, I read somewhere that maybe this mount was supposed to be able to rotate where you can mount it in different other fashions, but this one can't, so maybe this is a new version of it, a cheaper version. But I would like to experiment putting this in other places. Like right now I have it off to the left of the hi-hat, but you can try it off to the right, move my tambourine. I can mount it right where my tambourine is mounted. Or I could even put it between the toms sitting right here. But for right now, off to the left of the tambourine just seems fine. My left hand, I don't have a problem accessing it. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I am, this is money well spent. Now if I can get it on there, there we go. But the mount and the mounting bracket, very heavy duty, very high quality. And it moves, it does not move anywhere, it sits right there. And now my hi-hat's getting kind of tied up. You know, I've got the M80 snare mounted right here. I have the Rhythm Tech DST tambourine mounted right to the other side of it. And that is a fantastic addition. And you see, I put a little video snippet of me playing down here last night. I was playing ZZ Top, their song Legs from the 1983 Eliminator album. And when I started playing drums, like as far as playing drums go, I am, you know, playing the physical drums, I am a beginner. This has only been, you know, a year ago as when I got my first kit and started actually playing it. I consider myself an intermediate, but technically, by what I know, I am an intermediate player. But it was funny. I always liked the song Legs, and I thought, well, it'd be fun to learn that one, but I always thought, because of the double hi-hat pattern and whatnot, it'd probably be one of the hardest songs to learn. But in all actuality, it wasn't. It was quite easy. And an interesting little tidbit of information for you on that song and the band ZZ Top. Legs, when it was initially written, I played on my community page sound demos from when they were putting Eliminator together with Lyndon Hudson. And Dusty and Frank came in and added their parts to the song. But of course, their parts were eliminated and they used a machine to create their songs. But in concert, Frank Beard, the drummer, plays the original demo version on the drums, which I like actually better. I don't know if that's a, you know, a thumbs, what the hell am I it's early, I can't think. I don't know if that's kind of a shot at Billy Gibbons. I'm not real a fan of Billy Gibbons because of the way he did a lot of things with that band. But he plays the original drum track. And another little interesting tidbit for that song, when they recorded the song Legs, the vocals for it, Billy Gibbons, that's probably the last time he actually sang it. Ever since 1983, when they wrote that album, they've never sang it live. In concert, it's always, and it's the only song they do it this way, the only song. So when you go, if you go to a ZZ Top concert, it's the only song you'll ever hear that's actually not live. He actually lip syncs to that one because Billy Gibbons cannot hit the high notes in Legs. He can only do it the first time. And the first time he said almost killed him to do it. So if you go see ZZ Top in concert, you know, no matter how much you think, well, it sounded just like the recording, because it was the recording. Yeah, he doesn't sing it live. They haven't sang it live ever. Oh, it's like me, he's old, can't hit those high notes. But anywho, oh, and I wrecked my first pair of drumsticks the other day. Reached a milestone. Yeah, only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of sticks left. But this isn't like a real full-blown video on the Pearl M80. I did the unboxing, and I'll call her good with that. But this is a fantastic, fantastic little snare drum. I am extremely happy with that. That is a wonderful purchase. And I guarantee if you guys, and if any of you are interested in a side snare, you will not be disappointed in the Pearl M80. It's a fantastic, fantastic little drum. And it's in a beautiful brushed pewter finish. It's a 10x4. It does come with the stock heads. And like I said, I haven't replaced the heads on it yet, especially that Rezo, because it's very thin. So I really can't crank it up as high as I'd like to, because now and again, there's call in some of my songs for a timbali type sound. And unfortunately, the way the heads are set up, or with the kind of the light heads on this thing, I really can't crank it up as high as I want to achieve that sound. Well, the Bluetooth I have now, if I turn off this the snare, I'm gonna get a lot of snare, you know, crap on the bottom. So it's until you replace it, you know, you gotta you can't really do that. However, it is, man, I'm really freaking tired today. Like I said, the weather is really, it looks like it's gonna rain today, and it just, my wife's really gonna be hurting her CRPS with this barometric pressure dropping like this. I know it's starting to affect me. I'm just kind of in a fog today. But I got a busy weekend ahead of me. But like there is a lot of side snares out there. SJC, they're trash cans, they call them. They make 3 or 4 different kinds, and they're really beautiful finishes, really absolutely stunning finishes. But those are $200 a piece. There's a lot of piccolo snares out there, and some of them like pearls. And so, I mean, you're talking $300, $200-300 just for used ones. But the price range where this comes in, which is about $70 just for the snare itself, it is a fantastic deal. Now you're going to have to spend about $25, $30 on an L-rod bracket to hold it. It is what it is. But just remember though, if you're not using that snare all the time, there's other things you can use that L-rod bracket for. Like I do have my Rhythm Tech DST tambourine mounted to an L-rod as well, and you'd mount that just fine. I kind of actually prefer this on the L-rod as opposed to on the top of the cymbal stand mount. It is pretty cool there though. I do play it now and again, but since I have a tendency to always have all my freaking cymbals up, sometimes it just gets in the way because it is a rather large tambourine. Now, moving on to my Sabian 14-inch AA series Crash. This is a used one, and I can't remember where I got this one from. And unlike the Splash I ordered, this one showed up. And it was funny. I mean, it's a 14-inch cymbal, but it showed up in a pretty sizable box, like a snare box. And that's the reason it probably cost me $15 to ship it. But there's not a mark on it. There's no cracks, no scratches. The printing's good on it. Does the printing matter really? No, it doesn't. A lot of people take the printing off. And still, speaking of which, I really want that PST7 taken off. I just want the Peisty. That's all I want on there. And in order to get that off, I have to take, there's like it's a clear coating that Peisty puts on it. And supposedly they put the PST logo on top of that coating, but from dealing with the little China, I think it's underneath it. But I'd have to take some kind of paint thinner and get it off. And then people are saying, "Oh, don't do it because your cymbal's going to be able to tarnish down the road." No problem. I got Barkeeper's Friend. I can get rid of the tarnish. But a lot of people who've taken the coating off the cymbals have experienced a different sound. But your cymbals are going to change anyway, sound-wise, down the road anyways. But that coating on your cymbals does add a little bit to the sound, maybe take away from the sound a little bit. And so I'm gonna be able to keep them clean with or without it. So I'm not too concerned about that. But the sound is what I'm going after. Your cymbals are going to change over time anyways. A lot of people don't know this. And cymbals like, let's say the Pisces. This is the CUSN8, their Pisces formula. And I always thought it was like their B20 bronze formula, but it's not. It's, I can't remember the Pisces, because they use for the PSTs, 7s, and their 2002 series, which was a higher end. It's actually like a B12. And I was really surprised. I think it's a B12, because I always thought it was like a B20. But B12, B20, whatever it is, it's a copper tin mix. Like the B20 bronze is 80% copper and 20% tin. And cymbal companies have been doing it, put them together for years and years and years and years, and they create a wonderful, beautiful sounding cymbal. They really do. And some people think that the older the cymbal gets, you know, and it starts to look older, it collects patina, your cymbal's sound changes over the years. And people attribute that to the patina on the cymbal. Not so much. The patina adds a little bit, will add a little bit of the dryness to the cymbal, but in all actuality, your cymbals are going to change sound over the years because the metallurgy is breaking down. And I mean, am I saying that your cymbal is going to fall apart and bits of tin or copper are going to start falling? No, but the copper and tin really don't mesh well together. It's fine in the smelting process or however they do it. I'm not familiar exactly with how they do that. But when the two metals are put together and fused into the cymbals, they really don't get along too well. Kind of like my dogs, Bindi and Ranger, they don't get along too well. But over time, the metallurgy starts to break down a little bit. And when you say, well, you know, these cymbals sound completely different when I bought them 20 years ago. They sound more mellow, they sound, you know, I like the sound of them better. You can't contribute that to the patina on the finish, the, you know, the dulling and all that kind of stuff. But what it is the metal is breaking down. Your cymbals will stay intact, but they're just kind of loosening up a little bit. And I think that that's kind of cool. But that's why your sound of your cymbals are changing a little bit. Now, the AA series of Sabian, this is my first Sabian cymbal. It will not be my last. I really, really like this. The Sabian AA series are made with the B20 bronze. Very high quality. I think I got my, I really didn't like Sabian. When I, on the onset of starting all this stuff, I looked into all the cymbal brands and I watched the videos. And I think it was one of the big shots of Sabian. He was talking about his cymbals. And I think it was him that really turned me off on it, because he'd pick it up, this is the blah, 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 bang, bang, ba bang, ba bang, ba bang. And it was done. And the recording sounded terrible. He did a terrible job at it. And I'm like, that's pretty half-assed, you know. And so that really turned me off on Sabian. Neil Peart, the late Neil Peart, God bless him, he used Sabian Paragon series. Yeah, if you ever looked that up online, you can buy the complete set that he used, or a facsimile of the complete set he used. Yeah, it's like buying a used car. Oh, well, Neil Peart could afford that. I can't. Even if I could, I wouldn't do it. Oh, you notice? Yeah, I switched. Ever since this place opened, I've got the same coffee every time without fail. Large mocha, no whip, no whipped cream. And I actually switched to iced coffee. Yeah, I feel like such a hippie yuppie. Yeah, listen to me. But I decided, you know, the vinyls I've always wanted the custom classics, but I just really never got around to getting anything, or I just never find them, because You do find them on Guitar Center in their used section quite a bit, but they have a tendency to if they come in, boy, they're out fast, which is kind of strange. But there's a lot of Sabians in there, a lot of the B8s, B8Xs, SR2s, XSRs, AA, AAX, HHX, all the other brands. And the AAs are there's two other series that are quite similar. There's the AA and the AAX. Both are made with B20, and the difference is the lathing and the hammering. Now, this AA, it doesn't have any hammering. I do not see any hammering marks on it, but the lathing looks nice. The AA series is supposed to offer a more vintage sound. And vintage, I don't know, this is 2023, I don't know what they consider vintage sound. I'm just saying older sound. But their newer series, the AAX, is supposed to have a lot of the same qualities as the AA, but it has a more modernistic sound. I'm assuming it's a lighter, tinnier sound. I don't know, maybe more compatible with like the vinyl Byzance and whatnot. I'm not sure. But, and they say the AA is of lesser quality than the AAX and the HHX. Well, of course the HHX are, because they're top of the line. But I do not, sound quality wise on these AAs, they say they're lower quality. I don't see it, because the first time I hit that cymbal, I was like, wow, I'm really super impressed. So just that cymbal alone changed my opinion of what I'm going to get. So I'm just waiting for the go-ahead from the wife. And the cymbals I'm going to get, I think, like I said, I think they're XSRs, because I couldn't find the AAs. The ones I saw were all like excellent, brand new condition, and so the price was jacked way up. So I think I've got one AA, and the other two cymbals are XSRs, and it's going to be a 17 and a 19 and a 20. And I like those odd number sizes. For me, I don't know, it just does it for me. I don't like 18 so much, but I like the 17. But then again, that's a medium and this is a thin. But let me give you a little sound sample of the Sabian 14-inch thin crash. Got a very, very pleasant sound. Now, of course, you got like Sabian HHX and the Meinl Byzance and the Pisces signatures and all that, really high-end cymbals. I don't really have a desire for those high-end ones. I'm not a famous YouTube personality, and I don't do any recording whatsoever. You're lucky I'm doing it on this, and it's still just a little bit. But I go off the sound of what's down here in the basement, in my carpet and the drop ceiling, panel walls and stuff like that. That's where my sound is tailored to, because this is the sound, this is how I'm getting the sound. And to me, what I have is actually quite perfect. It goes well together down here. The only thing that's a little different are the woo hands. These things are a little bit to contend with. I haven't found many places for the 18 yet, but the linear smash comes in handy quite a bit sometimes. But I really do enjoy the Sabians. And for the price of that one, I mean, that wasn't very much at all. And the other cymbals, the other three I'm getting, the 17, the 19, and the 20, those are only going to cost me like $240 for 3 used cymbals. And they're decent quality. And they'll be perfect for down here. Down the road, if someone, hey Todd, our drummer, died, and could you replace him for a song? you know, and I have to bring my stuff, I would not be disappointed at all or worried at all about bringing the cymbals I have. But the reasoning behind, you know, I've got a complete set here. I've got a lot more than most people do. But like having multiple drum kits, I also like to, because of the different sounds and the different setup options, I want the same with the cymbals. I mean, this is my hobby. This is, after these cymbals, this is pretty much it as far as collecting. And so I'm not going to need much more or anything at all, actually. But I want to be able to, well, sometimes I get tired of hitting that 18. I want something different. So there'll be a 19 sitting there or a 19 sitting here. It's just a little, it keeps me interested and keeps me motivated. So I don't feel that bad. And it's always good. Like sometimes these cymbals don't mesh. The 18 medium don't mesh as well with the 17 thin. Well, maybe that the 19 Sabian that I get will sound better with it, and then just swap it out. And eventually I'll get to the point where I'll only have a few cymbals up at a time, and I'll just have more racks like I did with the file folder holder, and I'll just have them set up there, and I'll just pick and choose how I go. But other than that, there's not a lot going on this weekend. I am going to take a trip out to the hardware store today with a brand new $20 bill. That's it. And I'm going to find ways to tone down my Peisty 20-inch medium ride. Now, this ride right now, it's got 2 moon gels on it, on the top, and underneath there's a square pattern of just painter's tape. Because this one, when I play it, the wash is terrible. She's toned down now, but if I took all that crap off it, I mean, it's just very overpowering. So I'm going to find ways at a hardware store with edging, with clamps, and everything else to tone down the cymbal a little bit and get something to the point where I can just add a little bit of whatever it is at a time, just to get, you know, to kind of get to the right sound without going overboard or you know, being too low on it. So I'm going to see what I come up with there, because now and again, maybe even stifling this Wuhan 18 a little bit might help out. But I think that'd be kind of an interesting thing to do. And by using only $20, I mean, $20 is really nothing. You can collect bottles and cans in the United States, you know, for a couple hours and you have 20 bucks. But that way, for people like me in a basement who don't want all that overtones and washes, or, you know, as much as that one was really, I mean, it was going crazy. 20 bucks, and if I can find something that you can reuse over and over and over again, and then, you know, take it off one cymbal, put on another, or put 2 on or 3 on, or we'll see what I can come up with. But I think that'd be interesting, and it might help out a lot of people. But as for that, I think that's pretty much it for me today. I didn't have a lot to go off of, but I just wanted to do a recap on the Pearl M80, which is, again, if you're looking for a side snare, I mean, you really can't go wrong with it. I haven't had one issue with it. It looks good. It sounds great. And my new little Sabian 14-inch thin crash, and I'm really happy with that, and I'm really looking forward to getting some big brothers for it, to get down here and move some stuff around and get some different sounds. And with the Sabian XSR, I should say, ride, a new ride, a different ride, a different sound. This one works well on a lot of things, but again, she could kind of washy. But, you know, it's nice to be able to have the option to switch stuff out a little bit. So anyways, let me grab my iced coffee, and I'm gonna go upstairs and take a flipping nap. I'm tired. This barometric pressure dropping because of the rain coming in has really affected me. But anyways, you guys have a great day, and I'll speak at you later.